What's up? It's your boy CoreyB. So here on my new channel, you're going to notice that I talk about a lot of different things. If you followed my old channel, you would know that I did the same there as well. The reality is because, first of all, my prime focus is helping to, build people up, educate people, help you understand what it is you could be doing to better your life and better your investments, just to build a better future. But the reality is that what most people miss when they're investing is that everything affects your investments. You wouldn't think it does. Like it shouldn't. Your investments shouldn't be affected by everything, but they are. And the reason is because that we listen. We as people, we listen. And we're in a fast-paced society right now. We're in a fast-paced, instant gratification, like information at the tip of our fingers kind of generation. Like I remember growing up in the Nintendo generation, and we are beyond that. Like we have, everybody's got smartphones, smart watches. You want instant information, you want instant access, and you want it now. You don't want to take the time to research. You don't want to take the time to learn. You don't want to take the time to really become educated in the different areas that are affecting your life. You want somebody else to be educated, and you want to just take their word for it. Now, the reality is we're human. We can't know everything. Can't possibly know everything. That's why people spend their entire life understanding medicine and never understand it all. People spend their entire life studying the Bible. There's monks who have spent generations studying scrolls, and there's still things they don't understand. People have spent their lives understanding, getting their doctorates in history or psychology or law, whatever. It doesn't matter. In any field, and there's always more to learn. There's always more to learn. And that's just if you spend all your efforts in your one field of expertise, which most people don't. Most people don't. And we're in this generation where we're encouraging people to branch out. Don't just make your money in one place. Don't just make your money right here and now. Be sure to diversify. Well, if you diversify, how do you know about everything? Well, of course, you can't know about everything. You can't. And see, I hate that word, can't. It's a limitation. It's a limitation. Mama taught me from the time I could talk that can't was a dirty word. We don't say can't. It's a bad word. Bad word, bad word. You'd be punished for saying can't. Because ultimately you're limiting your own abilities. But the reality is you are but one person. So if you are trying, yes, you can do anything. And you can learn anything. But if you really want to learn multiple things, and you really want to experience multiple things, and you want to be able to diversify your assets and your investments and your life without... see, of course you can, but without sacrificing family, without sacrificing fun, enjoyment, freedom, the ability to come and go and do different things, and all that requires time. And that's where our limits become real. See, people see so many different things in so many different areas that it's like I'm limited here, I'm limited there. Your biggest limit is time. Time. So I talk about a lot of different things because people listen to so many different things. People get caught in headlines. People get caught up in headlines. They get caught up in sound bites. They get caught up in what's on their phone. Oh my gosh, this is on my phone. Or this is on my laptop. Or oh my gosh, my smartwatch is going off. And oh, my tablet, my laptop, oh my gosh, we got so many devices. Everybody's got so many devices in their house. They're constantly going off. They're constantly giving you updates, giving you feedback, giving you information that ultimately, how much have you verified said information? So then, are you going to take the time to sit back and say, okay, well, I'm going to go and verify all this information and know what it is I'm getting into, know what it is I'm listening to? Okay, well, no, everybody's not going to do that. So at some point, you've got to take your cues, and you've got to just use some little bit of common sense and intuition, and take some things for what they are, and be willing to understand that you're taking those things with a grain of salt. How much do they mean? How much do they matter? Stop taking things so seriously all the time. Everything's not a war. Everything's not a battle. Everything's not something coming against you or against your people. Everything's not another form of oppression. Now, that's not to say that there's not people coming after you. Not to say there's not oppression. There's not bad things and horrible people in this world. Absolutely there are. But everything's not negativity. And that's not just me being positive, that's me being realistic. Everything's not negative. If everything's negative, then by default, so are you. By default, you are a bad person. So if you're willing to accept that some people are good, that you yourself have good intentions, so do some other people. They're going to get it wrong, just like you do. Okay, now why do I mention this? Man, there's this great phrase that I first heard my pastor say, and I've marinated on it a lot the last few years. This global fatigue. I credit my pastor as, because it's not a phrase I coined myself. But I love this phrase. It's a great phrase, incredible phrase. Global fatigue. We get so bogged down with knowing and understanding and listening to everything that, okay, so I choose to see things that pop up in the media. I choose to, Elon Musk is a great one. I talk about him a lot because people know him. People don't understand everything, but they know him. I can speak about him and people aren't like, who? Now I might speak of someone like Abigail Disney and somebody will be like, well, who's Abigail Disney? Now you just instantly know, well, obviously she's a member of the Disney family, right? But because her last name is Disney. How many people have the last name Disney? But many people don't know who she actually is. So there's other people that I've talked about here and there that may catch people's ear and they might be like, well, who is that person? So I might offer a little background, but a lot of times I don't. I expect you to do a little background on your own maybe. Or you can just trust me and take what I'm saying isn't about the person, but about the subject matter. The people, I got no beef. You know, I'm not trying to bring up people or, name drop so that way you'll listen to me. I bring up people because they're examples that you can understand, that you can see. A lot of times we talk about ourselves. We talk to people and we're saying, oh, look, this is how you can change. This is what you can do. Let me explain to you. You're doing A, B, and C. And they're like, well, I don't work like that. That works for those people, but not for me. Let me give you some examples of people that you've seen. It's not just magical people that are hypothetical situations. These are real people that have done real things. These are real things that are changing things in our society. These are real things that are actually happening. Those real things that are actually happening affect your investments in your business. Okay, why do they affect your investment? If you're investing in real estate, there's lots of things. My buddy Sean, incredible guy, very smart. A good friend Linda also, both in real estate, both completely different aspects of real estate, and both completely different people, even though they're both agents. Linda's got licensed to, all over the state of Texas. Sean's doesn't expand the entire state of Texas, I don't believe. But my man Sean has been flipping houses. He's been an agent since 08, or 06, been flipping houses for like the last 20 years on his own as a side, in addition to his own, in addition to his job. He knows a lot about the market, and during the last few years, during the pandemic and during this recession, he's talked to me many times because he knows I'm house hunting. Me and Kimberly are looking for what's next, and he knows that. And he's been trying to be, a good friend. And Linda has been a helpful friend also. Linda constantly goes to new classes, and she's constantly leveling up her game, learning new things. During the pandemic, she was doing virtual tours of houses for people. She would go to houses. She would drive 30 and 40 minutes to get to a house to give people a virtual tour so they could see a house. She sold houses during the pandemic. Innovation. Being willing to think outside the box and do something different. My buddy Sean hit me up. He had been working on a deal for a long while. He knew I did coaching. He knew I help people with business. So he reached out to me and said, hey, buddy, check this out. I've been working with this guy for the last few months. He'd been working with him, I think, about 6-7 months trying to close this deal on this big house that the guy had been trying to get. Well, the guy, what happened was he was a retired athlete. Just put it out there like that. I don't want to give too much information. He's a retired athlete who gave lessons in coaching to clients. He had a long list of clients that he did private lessons to. But the thing was is during the pandemic, he was unable to actually meet with those clients. So even though he had money in the bank, he felt the type of way about buying this new big giant property that was a, multi-million-dollar deal potentially, which also put a good commission in my buddy Sean's bank. And he was like, man, this may not go through. And if this doesn't go through, what is it that how can I do this? He didn't want to lose that deal. So he reached out to me and said, hey, do you think I could put you two in contact with each other? You think I could put you two in contact with each other? Maybe, just maybe. Apologies. So he said, maybe you two can work together. You can help him secure his business. He doesn't want to grow. He doesn't want new clients. He just wants to keep the clients that he's already got. And so I reached out to the guy and ultimately talked to him about how we could potentially take his lessons virtually during the pandemic, during lockdown. Like, can we look at things a new way? So I looked at the situation and I told him, and me and Sean discussed it a lot, and then me and the client discussed it. And we tried to figure out, how can I help Sean, or how can I help this client secure his clients so that way he's not concerned about burning through his, savings and his nest egg and things like that on a house that ultimately he didn't need, but he just wanted. This was going to do several things. This was going to put money in Sean's pocket. This was going to get this man to secure his business without burning through his savings. He was going to get the dream house that he wanted, put some money in my pocket, and ultimately create this level of trust between this client, myself, Sean, and we could branch out to potentially other people as well and see this as, future growth. And this is just a simple thing when you're looking at things around you. You're looking at how things affect your life, how things affect your real estate. Sean's told me many times, he's like, Corey, whatever you're doing, whatever you're looking for, he's like, if you're willing to sacrifice A, I can get you. If you're willing to sacrifice C, I can get you there. What about D? Maybe F? It's like, you've got all these variables. You've got a list of variables that you want, these are my must-haves. How firm are you on those must-haves? Because you want all these must-haves, but then you're looking at the price for your must-haves, and that price is looking, well, it's looking like that because you have all these must-haves. Now, if your pockets are deep and your pockets full of guac and you ain't worried about all that, and you can ultimately afford to spare no expense and get everything you want, then you know what? Great, more power to you. Go have all your must-haves. But if you're willing to cut that cost down a little bit, be frugal, or you desire to cut that cost down a little bit, be frugal, and ultimately sacrifice just a little, not completely give up, but bend. Are you willing to commute a little? Are you willing to change schools? Are you willing to change neighborhoods, change jobs? Are you willing to, what are you willing to do differently to secure that investment in your future home? Now, when you're talking about real estate that you're trying to invest in for business, T-Pain's a great example. Y'all may know T-Pain, the auto-tune king. Okay, T-Pain made lots of music, lots of money, and lots of things. T-Pain also lost a lot of money. T-Pain invested in lots of real estate that he ultimately was like, he had a guy. He had a buddy who was like, oh man, you just take all this money and just buy a bunch of properties. Because you buy a bunch of properties, it's real estate, right? It's just going to be worth something, right? It's not that simple. It's not black and white that you buy it, you make money. You buy it, you make money. No, you got to buy in the right place, the right time, and you got to buy for the right amount so that way you can turn a profit. He said, T-Pain's talked about his investments many different times, and a lot of his real estate adventures, all his ventures into real estate, most of them never even sold, and some of the ones that did sell, he didn't turn a profit at all. So you're thinking, well, what did he do wrong? What he didn't do, he didn't know what he was buying into. But you hear other people You hear lots of these people, celebrities, Money Mayweather talking about how he bought buildings and now he's got incredible amounts of equity. Yeah. Man, even if he didn't have all his millions and all this nonsense from his boxing, from his, promotions and all, obviously he needed that money to do the investing in the first place, but if he hadn't saved any of that, he could just live off of his real estate investments for the rest of his life and be more than plenty happy. That doesn't happen for everybody. But you hear these stories and you're like, well, that's what I got to do. You hear these stories about the celebrities who get money, or lottery winners who get money and then they lose it and it's all gone. So you think, well, I got to be the guy who does wise with it. I got to go buy houses. I got to go buy properties. I got to buy this. If you don't know what you're buying, you don't know what you're buying and you're not going to do it right. Same thing's going to happen. Same thing's going to happen with stock market. Crypto. You see, oh, well, people are making money with crypto, so I'm going to buy some crypto. All right. Crypto's a sound investment. That right there, that phrase in itself is silly. It's a sound investment if you know what you're investing in. If you know what you're investing in, you know the volatility, you know what the potential. I've talked about the crypto cowboys. Oh man, crypto cowboys. We'll talk about them another day. Talked about them a bunch of times, but we'll talk about them again. At the end of the day, what's it coming down to is, do you know what you're investing in? People have got these stock portfolios. They bought a lot of assets, shares into different companies throughout their retirement accounts, throughout their job. They've had stock share plans, things like that. There's so many different things that people have done in the stock market that they didn't know anything about, and then they're making this money and they're like, oh look, I'm making. Well, then there's a blip. There's the pandemic. People need liquidity. Well, if you need liquidity, I get that. That's a whole different situation. But if you're just freaked out or you're just paranoid and you sell off stock because you see a headline, you see a blip, and you sell, you're selling low, you're taking a loss, then that means you're not getting your money. All these things. I heard there was a... Oh, man. People see politics, especially, oh man. Big hot button was Obama became president. Obama became president that changed a lot of things. Now, why would I say Obama changed a lot of things? Obama changed a lot of things because Obama got a Twitter. Trump got a Twitter. Biden got a Twitter. So now you've got all these politicians, presidents, congressmen, the White House. They got Twitters. They got Twitters, so they got these little blips. And you read these blips. You take these little... sound bites. There's a technological crisis. We're heading into a recession. We're in a recession. Welcome. Y'all with me? We're in it. We're not heading into a recession. Had somebody tell me the other day, man, we're about to head into a recession. Wake up, bro. We're there. We're there. This isn't new. We're there. If you look up the definition of what a recession is, we've been there for a hot minute. And it's okay. It's okay. It's not good. It's not the end of the world either. It's not the crisis that you're going to hear in media. It's not the crisis you're going to hear on the mainstream. It's not the crisis that you're going to hear in social media either. It's something that America has been through worse, and America can get out of this. Question is, how are you going to let it affect you? How are you going to let it affect you? All right. I think I'm going to end there and say that we're going to talk about the recession next time and how we're going to make money and how we're going to let the recession affect us. So y'all stay tuned for my next video. But for today, what I want you to focus on is just the concept and the idea of, I talk about so many different things, and I talk about what you might hear in the news. I talk about a lot of things that I try to tell people to stay positive, because things aren't as bad as they seem. Things are bad. But things have been bad before. How are things for you? Things might be bad for your state, your city, community, country. How are things for your household? Let's take one step at a time. Focus on your house. Focus on your husband, your wife, your kids. Then fan outward, you know what I'm saying? Reach your community, reach your other relatives, your sisters, your cousins, parents. Make sure they're doing okay. All the things in our society are going to affect how we invest in things. All the things that are going on. People hear some bad words about what happened at Disney last week and they're like, can't believe that a Disney person did that, so I must sell my stock. Why? What does that employee have to do? Like I said, you hear about what happened at an Amazon warehouse. You take that as the norm. Maybe it's the norm, maybe it's not, but did you actually look into it? Did you find out, was this an isolated incident, or is this how Amazon runs their business? You dislike Bezos. You dislike Buffett. You dislike Zuckerberg. That's fine. Don't like them. But does what they're doing affect your investment? You allow it to. You absolutely allow it to affect your investment. You allow it to affect what you buy, whether you sell, how much you buy, how much you sell. You allow it to affect where you live. There were people who said Musk moved to Austin. Elon Musk moved to Austin. So a lot of people were like, man, I'm moving to Austin. Because he moved there? Or did you get a job with Tesla? I got a buddy who goes to my church. He came from Louisiana and he moved to Austin, started going to my church because he had a job with Tesla. He didn't move because Musk moved there. Then I got some other people who are like, man, Musk is moving to Austin. I'm moving out of Texas. Do you really hate a guy that much that you're going to allow him to affect your household? One man? Is he that important? Nah, come on. We got to do better. We got to do better. Yeah, we listen to a lot. We hear a lot. There's constant information overload going into us. This is the world and the society we live in. This is what we ask for. Most of us want this. Some of us don't. You got to go back to that age-old concept of be careful what you wish for. A lot of people wished for this. A lot of people wanted this. Now you got it. It's not bad as long as you know how to handle it. There's a concept. They've done multiple studies. My background's in psychology. That's what I went to school for. I love psychology. I've been passionate about psychology since I was a young teenager. I promise, I'm closing with this. The thing is, they've done many studies to have profound evidence to suggest that stress is actually incredibly healthy for your body. It's the level of stress, how much stress, and how you handle said stress that's going to be the ultimate defining factor. How do you handle it? And that goes with everything else. We asked for an information overload. We wanted information quicker. We wanted it at the tip of our fingers. We wanted it to ding on our wrist, ding in our ear. We wanted all of this. I mean, not necessarily me, maybe not necessarily you, but we as a society, we wanted this. Now we got it. And that can be good. It's all a matter of how we handle it. Y'all stay tuned. I'm going to keep putting lots more content for y'all. This is only my third video post on this new channel. I hope y'all enjoyed my other channel. It was Corey Bayless, and now it has been officially changed to the Bayless Boys, as my younger boys have mostly taken it over, and we do a lot of family content there. But right here, being CoreyB, this is my new channel. Y'all be sure to give you boys some love, hit that heart, give me a thumbs up, like, subscribe, ding your bell, get your notifications. I got lots more coming at y'all. Until next time, it's your boy CoreyB, and I'm out.